My husband and I were walking in our neighborhood when a man stopped us in front of his house and claimed my husband was having an affair with his wife. My, female 62-year-old, husband, male 59-year-old, who I will call Jay, have been together for 26 years, married for 25.5. He is one of the most wonderful people I know. I had a very rough, dysfunctional, abusive childhood. It took years of therapy and tons of support from Jay to get to the other side and really learn to love and trust. I also have ADHD, OCD, and suffer from severe anxiety and PTSD from my traumatic childhood. Jay has always been supportive and actually maintained a great sense of humor, especially with my ADHD. He actually was the one who suggested looking into a diagnosis. I was diagnosed about 10 years ago. We met when my daughter, 34, T, was 8 years old. I had been a single mom, so T and I are very close. We went to family counseling right after we married, his suggestion, because we wanted to assure we integrated our family and learned how to do that with steps. To say that it has been amazing is an understatement. Jay and T love each other so much. It took a while, but we really worked at it. I tell you all of this to give a brief glimpse of why I trust Jay implicitly. We have gone through so much together. There were times that I thought that there was no way he was going to stay. That this would be the straw that broke the camel's back. But he has never left my side. When this man stopped us, he asked if my husband was having an affair with his wife. Both this man and his wife are well into their 80s. We thought he was joking at first and both of us started laughing. We then realized that he was serious. At first he tried to say that it occurred during lockdown for COVID while I was at work. I told him that that was impossible because I am a teacher and taught remotely, from home, for over a year. We asked him why he thought this was occurring and he said that his wife, who was in late stages of Alzheimer's, confessed to him. We asked if he knew a time frame when this supposedly occurred, as we have motion cameras around our house. Yes, I am very paranoid, and we could get footage so he could see that his wife has never been to our home. He said he did not know and could not ask her due to the Alzheimer's. This whole thing was so surreal. I was furious. I told him there was no way this happened and my husband would never purposely hurt me. He said that is what all people say when confronted. There was a lot more back and forth, but he refused to back down, even though there was absolutely no evidence other than a confession from a woman in late stages of Alzheimer's. I am not naive nor am I blind. There are 0 red flags. My husband treats me so well and we do everything together. I 100% believe this so-called affair never occurred. My question is, what do I do now? Do I get a restraining order to assure he stays away from us? Of all the crazy that has happened in my life, this has got to top the list. Am I wrong to want to get a restraining order against an 80-year-old man? Commenter asked, I mean, do you need a restraining order? You were in front of his house, right? Did he threaten you or say anything to make you think he would bother you? Maybe he is also very confused. OP responded, yes. He told Jay not to go near his property or he would be sorry. We honestly are just worried that he may own a firearm. It is impossible to not go near his property. I do not want my husband hurt. Commenter asked, the thing is, it well could have happened. I was mistaken several times for my ex-girlfriend's grandmother's younger brother when I went to visit with her. It was awkward, but we navigated it even after she threw a minor fit that I was dating my own grandniece and it was wholly inappropriate and screamed the house down. Alzheimer's chews Swiss cheese holes in the cerebellum, and to cope with it the mind patches inconvenient identities and fills in the gaps. Edit. Yes, I am aware this is not accurate in a strictly technical or medical sense. It is called a metaphor, people. Human minds are fragile, and we stretch and borrow to cover up holes in our memories. Goodness gracious. His wife might well have had an affair 20 years past or more, and the original poster's husband might have looked like that man, and replaced the identities. And her husband, hurt and wounded, confronted them because even though he knows that it is not the original poster's husband. But he cannot, because not only is he absolutely wounded by the confession, but also that he knows it is not his wife's lover. Or even that his wife had an affair, but this is the only way he can cope with her dementia. What a truly awful situation for all of them. The original poster, her husband, the accuser, and his wife. There is just no good side here. Everything is difficult here, but nobody does. OP responded, we were discussing this afterwards. I really am ignorant about the effects of Alzheimer's, but I thought that perhaps this could be the case. My husband works from home. During lunch he takes laps around the neighborhood and thinks maybe that is where she saw him. Commenter asked, my grandfather had Alzheimer's that caused him to believe things that never happened. He did not understand that it was not true because he remembered going through it. This is one of the few times I would say to let it slide. If you see the man again, just say that you looked through all of your camera footage alerts and there was nothing suspicious. You cannot say for sure she did not cheat, but you can say it was not with your husband. Opie responded, yes, I like this idea. He must be so lonely. And then to be dealing with this. I think he wants to believe her because that would mean she is normal again and remembering things. Even if they are bad things. Update 1. Update. Darn, I am so sorry. It took me forever to figure out how to edit this. I have no idea how to update. This is my first post. First, I am reading all of the comments and taking them to heart. I read all of the time people thanking the Reddit community for their help and insight, and that is not a lie. You all have shared your stories and really educated me about these horrible disorders. I never realized how horrendous Alzheimer's and dementia are, and not only how they affect the person with the disorder, but the devastation this has on those that love them. You have helped to understand how this man and his wife need our compassion and grace. I did speak with a person in the neighborhood. I was worried about getting anyone involved officially because, as many pointed out, this could cause more harm than good. She assured me that they do have children and friends that do check on them, but she actually has not seen them around a lot lately. She will reach out to them. Next, I was walking around our neighborhood. Some people suggested that I do not walk by their house, but that would be impossible. Think of like a thermometer shape. It is a long street with a cul-de-sac at the end. But in the middle is this big island with 5 houses on it. Anyway, at one point the gentleman knocked on his window and pulled the top down. He asked to speak with me. I said that may not be the best idea, as he essentially accused my husband of a horrendous crime. He said he would only take a few minutes, and it was not something bad. I told him I would not go on his property, and I actually backed up to the middle of the street. He asked if I would be okay with his going into his porch. And I said yes. He immediately apologized. He said my husband's demeanor was what made him realize that there was not any truth to what his wife said. He said what many of you have told me about Alzheimer's, and he realized what his wife told him could not have occurred. I told him that I was so happy that he realized this, because after all I had learned in the last 12 hours was breaking my heart that this may be the last memory he had of the person he spent almost his whole life with. He thanked me, so I am thanking all of you that made me realize compassion and grace should be the go-to. We actually then had a nice conversation, altogether talked about 15ish minutes. He asked me to apologize to my husband for him. I told him I would, and we said see you later. He had a really big smile on his face. Again, I do not think that this would have ended this way without all of your input. Even those of you that called me a Karen, that is okay. I used to teach at a behavioral school. I have been called worse. Relevant comment. It is going to take a while, honestly. I went through something very similar recently. Although she did not admit to it, I just had to find out. We split at the start of August. Going from me excited for my wedding heir to guess I'm single has been kind of a poor transition to have to make, not going to lie. What I would say is, lean on your friends. Mine have been very great throughout. The other thing that was a huge relief was that I did not find out further into the relationship. If we had gotten married or had kids, the situation would have been that much worse. As it stands, I can get her out of my life at relatively minimal cost, move on, and never have to see her again. I am not far enough down the road to say when I was able to trust in relationships again. One of my female friends was encouraging me to get on Tinder last week, and I had to say I am nowhere near ready for that mentally. In my case, I have spent all but 1 year of my life since I was 18. I just recently turned 30. In one of 2 serious relationships, I have not really had any time to just be single and do things to grow as a person. I think it is easy when you are in a relationship to just get comfortable and stop doing things to improve yourself. So my current plan is, spend the next year or 2 saving up so that I have got a year's worth of mortgage payments plus some living costs money in the bank, then do a Master of Science. I have been talking about a career change for a few years now, and having something to work towards keeps me somewhat sane. I am also trying to get back into some of my more active hobbies, which is an issue because I'm also recovering from breaking several vertebrae earlier in the year, and my back currently has quite a lot of titanium in it, and will do for about another year. But I am going to the climbing gym every week, doing easy stuff and hanging out with my friends who go a bit more regularly. The thing that hits me daily at the moment is that I am just very disappointed. I thought we were going to have such a great life together, but she threw it all away for the sake of a fling with some guy she met online. She started cheating literally 3 weeks after we booked the wedding band. Relevant comment. I am so happy that you actually left. You have value, and someone will actually realize that. Update 2. Almost 2 months since the cheating, he took the cats today. So about 2 months ago, I found out 3 weeks before the wedding that my fiancé had been cheating on me and got the other girl pregnant. I feel like I have come a far way and my therapy has been really helpful, and I just know I made the right decision. The cats that we both had, but that he had first, he finally picked up today. I probably in a weird way feel sadder today than I did on the day that I found out he betrayed me. He had those cats for so many years, and I really only had them for a couple, but I feel so heartbroken and alone right now. They were so monumental in my healing process, and I just loved them both to pieces. I guess I do not really have any questions. I just wanted to share how sad I feel right now. Partner confessed to cheating 3 weeks before the wedding. Multiple updates. My female 27-year-old and boyfriend, male 33-year-old, are planning to move in together in May. I am a little worried about his cats and my allergies to them. My boyfriend and I have been together over 2 years, and he is my best friend and definitely the man I am going to marry. We are moving together in May, and I am so excited, but I am worried about his cats. They are great cats and I honestly love them, but my allergies are pretty bad. Too much exposure to them, and it is difficult to breathe even when I take allergy medicine. We have discussed how we are going to keep them out of the bedroom and out of the spare room, and have discussed getting a cleaning service twice a month to help with the cat hair. I am living with my parents right now to save up money, and they have a dog I was allergic to, but I eventually got used to and am fine. My symptoms are super minor. My hope is that they will be the case with the cats. There are 3 of them, and 2 of them he has had for years. He loves them, and I could never ask him to give them away. I guess I just do not know what to do if my symptoms are awful and do not get better. Any suggestions from people who have gone through similar situations? Relevant comment. Can you temporarily live with the cats to feel the symptoms out? 3 cats is a lot, especially if you are allergic. It would suck to move in and find out that your allergies get worse once you are already locked into a lease and settled in. If I were you, I would not do it. Comfort and health is greater than any cat. Multiplied by 3. Update 1. My female 29-year-old fiancé, male 35-year-old, confessed to me last week that he had been cheating on me for 5 months and the woman is now pregnant. The wedding is now less than 3 weeks away. I kicked him out of the house and am starting therapy this week. Obviously, the wedding and relationship is over. For those who have gone through something similar, how did you get through this betrayal and learn to trust again? Mornings are the hardest for me, and I keep reliving what he has done. Relevant comment. Understand that you are going through the grief process. You are not going to wake up one day and be over it. Little by little, you will find it easier to cope. Fun activities with friends, hobbies, and exercise will help take your mind off the feeling of loss. Eventually, the hurt will fade and you will fully enjoy life again. Relevant comment. Go down to your local shelter and just look. You can even help out by interacting with the dogs, cats, and yes, puppies and kittens. This will help you and you may smile, have some fun. Actually, I give you a cat. I have a ton here. I live in the country with horses and 5 dogs. Wishing you all the best, and it actually does get better with time. Relevant comment. It is like losing visitation rights to stepchildren in a divorce. You grew to love them as if they were yours. Maybe go check out the local animal shelter to get a pair of littermates, and since they are coming from a shelter, they should be fixed before you take them home. It will give you company in your home and help prevent you from rushing into another relationship before you are ready to fill the void he left. I would be really torn up if my wife and I split because of my stepchildren. Then the pets. We would have the dogs heartbroken by splitting them up, and the cats? My wife and I both bottle-fed Gizmo and Rocket when they were abandoned by their mum, our cat, and they are extremely attached to us and each other. Those 2 sister cats are inseparable. Update 2. I went out tonight and met a cute guy. First time going out and getting all cute since the betrayal. It was nice and it felt nice getting noticed. I am not ready to date seriously, but it felt good to put myself out there. Relevant comment. Congratulations. I am sure it feels good to have someone interested in you. My ex left and said we are too different, gave a bunch of random reasons, and wants to date other people. She is adamant there is nobody else, but I have suspicions. She will not have trouble meeting somebody new. She is beautiful, incredibly fit for her age, 48, outgoing, and is around younger and fit guys all the time. She teaches yoga at several fitness places. I am quiet and keep to myself. I got on a dating app and it is depressing. I feel like I will be alone forever. Relevant comment. At a girl. You do you. Enjoy the confidence it gives you. Do not go faster than you feel comfortable with. The world is yours. Update 3. I think this chapter has finally closed. Back in September 2021, I found out my fiancé had been cheating on me and got another woman pregnant 3 weeks before our wedding. I ended things, kicked him out, worked hard at school, and graduated just a couple weeks ago. They just had the baby. Why people thought sending me screenshots of the announcement was a good idea is beyond me, but I felt a huge sense of relief. The worst has passed, and I did not even cry. So thankful now that I did not have a child with such a weak, dishonest man. I feel like this chapter has officially closed. It gets better, guys, and you deserve better.
That's all for today, besties.